Folks, thanks for coming on the line with us today. We'll discuss different lead and marketing programs offered through the Brokerage Incorporated here with you this afternoon. We'll spend the next half hour or so going through some different ways of looking at formulating a marketing program and then the different lead support programs we have here at the Brokerage Inc. for our contracted agents. You'll notice on the screen right now a live version of our website. Much of the information we have today, including a recording of today's call, will be on the website itself, and you will receive follow-up information to today's presentation via email here very shortly after the meeting ends and the recording uploads for us. When we talk about different marketing programs, most people automatically think of different lead programs that may be available to them. And the question we hear most often when we talk to agents is, got any leads? It all depends on what your definition of a lead is. At this point in time in the year, when many of the Medicare Advantage programs are rolling out their benefits, starting to make that information available to folks here now, certain carriers, other carriers in a couple of weeks or so, you get a lot of information from organizations such as ours offering different marketing support. And some of it can be skewed a little bit by, I guess, what your definition of a lead is. And to go to Lewis Carroll and Alice in Wonderland, what a lead is, paraphrasing, is basically a way to get you to where you want to go. If you don't know which direction you're headed, it really doesn't matter then what kind of lead you get. It's what we're looking to do is help define what helps you get to where you need to go on the plans that you have in place for yourself. We want to accumulate dollars, commission dollars, and help people, but we don't want to spend a whole bunch of them at the same time. So basically, if we have a plan in place, we need to look at the dollars we need to spend to get to where we want to be. Most marketing organizations, if they supply you every lead you need, they're going to take a piece of your pie. Might have you on a different type of contract where you don't get all of your compensation, you may not be vested, or whatever way of doing things that they're looking to do to fund programs. Because in all honesty, all of us are in the business to help people and to make a living, and in order to do so, we need to make things work on an economic basis. So we need to look at the revenue that we want and figure out what it needs to take us there and see if the monies we're spending are monies well spent. So let's take a base example of a commission at a flat $200 rate. And that's basically a little bit under what the commissions that have been announced for a Medicare Advantage program on a renewal basis is in most areas. If you're looking to make six figures in first year commissions off that product, little math tells us that's going to take us 500 sales to do it. We're working 50 weeks to do it. It's going to be an average of 10 sales a week or 2 a day if we're working 5 a day. And if we use 10 leads giving us 5 appointments for 2 sales, we're going to need about 50 leads a week to reach that number. If we've got a mailer working, that gives us about a 2% return, and we drop 2,000 mailers each and every week. That's going to generate about 40 leads, about 80% of what we do. And through some of the programs we have, we can augment a mail program like that. And then let's look at other types of marketing programs to get us in front of the folks that we need to help in order to reach our goals that we set for ourselves as well. So it's important that we analyze our personal situation, realize what area we want to market, and what product we want to market to it. Are we going to concentrate on one particular program at one particular point in time of the year? We're going to do that on a regular basis. That would change some of the things that some of our approach. Do we have confidence in our ability to cross-sell? Different products have different commission rates, so that'll change some of the figures that we have in place, basing our productivity and how it will affect our annual income. So we want to make certain that we match the product to the target market as well. Here in Dallas-Fort Worth area, in Dallas, there are different park cities. University Park is a little bit different than Fair Park. We got to make certain that the product we're offering fits that demographic. In University Park, a higher income area, it would behoove us to perhaps, if we're in the Medicare world, to market Medicare supplements and tailor an approach that way. If we're in Fair Park, good opportunity to work the dual special needs product market and make certain that what we're offering matches up the market that we're pursuing. And then, of course, we got to make certain we follow all of the rules. Different products give us different guidelines we have to follow. We've got to make certain we have our base beneath us before we pursue anything at all. Are we properly licensed, contracted, certified? Have we done any continuing education that's necessary to market a product? We're marketing long-term care. Have we completed the first set of that and then worked through the renewals? Are we up to date with our fraud, waste, and abuse requirements for life insurance? Have we done certifications for the different carriers that we want to market? And depending upon the way that we do market those programs, have we also taken care of any extras that a carrier might ask of us in order to compliantly market their program? Because remember, whatever we do, we got to be careful about putting all of our eggs in one basket, and we got to make certain that we approach things methodically, but also with a bit of enthusiasm to make certain that we've diversified our approach and we're going about it with a realistic expectation. So we're going to target and attract people, and instead of waiting for the phone to ring, we're going to go out, much as my hero Pepe Le Pew does, and look for a Penelope to kiss. Never get kissed if you don't ask. So where are we going to find these people to talk to? Let's look at some of the programs that are available through the Brokerage Incorporated's lead menu program, or lead program menu. One of these are a contact list for people who like to smile and dial. Ma Bell is not a forbidden relative if you're working a correct program. Obviously, if you're in the Medicare world, you can't cold call for Medicare Advantage products. You can cold call for Medicare supplement products, the vast majority of them, save one, if you're properly certified and you're using a list that is bumped up against the do not call list. So you have the opportunity to do that within certain markets. If you're looking to pursue property and casualty, obviously you can do a list of homeowners, butt it up against do not call, and take care of that. We don't offer property and casualty as part of our portfolio, but using that as an example. So there are different ways that you can do a call campaign, and keep in mind, you can pull that list through our website, as I mentioned before, going to the tools section, into lead generation tools, the lead programs, and pull access to the website that's showed right here. We have an arrangement through contracts with different carriers to access the list here, and you can actually purchase a list should you choose to do so based on demographics that you put in place, or if you're working with some markets, particular markets, with a number of products through us, we might help supply this list to you at no cost. That depends on your approach and the products and the programs that you have with us. Consider how you market to these lists though. Every carrier, every organization like ours will tell you, boy, you gotta take into account, if you're working the Medicare world, those turning 65s. Over 10,000 of them a day turning 65. Great market. They got to make a choice in many circumstances. It's one of those Yogi Berra moments where they're at a fork in the road and they got to take it. In this circumstance, it depends on us to be timely in our approach, because while there are a lot of people turning 65 each and every day, we're not the only agent out there chasing them. We have a lady in the office who turned 65 a couple of years ago, and as she approached her 65th birthday, one morning by 10 o'clock in the morning, she received phone calls from 22 agents looking to offer her a Medicare supplement program. You dive into turning 65, keep in mind you're not the only one working it, and some carriers began to send correspondence to individuals at age 63 and a half. Not a bad thing for us. It helps prime the individual and helps educate the individual that we are looking to speak to as well. But keep in mind you got some competition in the T65 market. Look then, if you're pursuing the Medicare supplements, at folks that are a little bit older. 66 or 67-year-olds, there are carriers out there where their sweet spot is 68, 69-year-olds. They want to pursue people who have gone past the adverse selection stage of a guarantee issue product, which doesn't necessarily pay us as an agent full commission anyway. And the rates are, in many cases, well, in certain cases anyway, more palatable at age 68 than they are 65. Cheaper at 68 than 65. Some of the folks then, if you're looking at 66 or 67-year-olds, you're going to deal with a market that may have purchased the least expensive Medicare supplement program available to their knowledge when they aged into the market, but now they find that that is no longer the cheapest date on the street. They are more willing to shop, and they aren't pursued as heavily as the folks that are just turning 65. These are also individuals that in most cases haven't really had a lot of changes in their health circumstances, so they can pass underwriting, and you can use a tool like our Medicare Supplement Quote Engine to help get them the best bang for their Medicare supplement buck. If they are individuals, much like the next category we're going to speak to, that have a few hiccups in their health history, well, you've got a couple of carriers out there that help with substandard underwriting for Medicare supplement plans as well. So if you're not contracted with AARP or Cigna and you're going to pursue the Medicare supplement market, you need those two in your portfolio to help pursue the population that may look to change their Medicare supplements, but also need some help when it comes to explaining some of their health history. Another age group to look at, particularly if you are active in the life or annuity market, is the 70-year-olds. Why? Well, for many of the same reasons that we discussed on the people who are 66 or 67. Their rates may have gone up since they purchased their program. They may still have a health history that allows them underwriting to pass underwriting and pursue another policy. And keep in mind, med supps aren't locked in. You can pursue them all 12 months of the year. But these are also folks, if you're gauging your list properly and you've gone for a little higher income individual, you may well be speaking to someone who had a qualified retirement plan and at the age of 70 and a half are required to start pulling distributions from that program, or the government steps in and takes a big chunk of it. The infamous required minimum distribution. This then allows you to access a market to pursue for annuities or life insurance or whatever, different types of coverages with premium dollars taken out of a qualified plan legally and placed in front of you through a demand product such as a Medicare supplement plan. Other programs that are available, and you're hearing a lot of buzz about this now. If your email is anything like mine, it lights up with everyone talking to you about community-based programs, including retail marketing programs. The Brokerage Inc. works with now 4 retail programs. We have a meeting tomorrow. It was on the announcement that went out today, early this morning, about the different trainings we have this month. But it goes through and discusses at length the different retail marketing programs we have through organizations that have a pharmacy attached to them. Let's put it that way. That includes the organizations we work with in the state of Texas and the H-E-B stores, the programs offered through United Healthcare for their portfolio, the Walmart opportunity, and a brand new opportunity that we're going into in detail tomorrow that offers the Medicare portfolio for Aetna. They have different requirements on each of the programs. Some of them are available without cost. Some will dig in your pocket a little bit. This goes back to what monies are we willing to spend in order to get in front of the people we need to be in front of to accomplish our goals that we've set for ourselves and our agency. These trainings are ongoing, and keep in mind, in certain circumstances, there may be an opportunity for you to set up a retail program for yourself based on certain parameters. The retail programs that we offer through a lot of these carriers in these organized campaigns tend to be national chains. You don't necessarily have a lot of small independents that are offered through these programs. And these may be pharmacies that need your help to explain the differences to their patient base, which in many cases are very, very loyal to them. You're setting up a retail opportunity through one of these organizations can be handled through our organization. We can help you with that setup, and it's a great way for you to take advantage of an opportunity that may not be available elsewhere. Keep in mind, some retail establishments, if they have a corporate office, not always that easy to get into. A lot of times they'll push you off to, oh, we need to talk to corporate, or oop, we need to talk to the store manager. And with some of those store managers, that's kind of hard to get a hold of some of them sometimes. We've got that experience, Sandra, don't we? You know, situation in a smaller city area. However, independence, most of the time the pharmacist has a vested interest in keeping his clients in his store, and that might be a good way for some folks to go and operate a retail opportunity based on parameters they put in place rather than a marketing organization. Other places to go for organic lead growth include faith-based opportunities. Right now, you've probably been approached by a number of carriers you're contracted with for Medicare Advantage products that are saying, do some meetings for us in the fall, enrollment meetings. It'll be a great opportunity for you. Talk about our programs. And we'll give you some support in making certain you got a compliant presentation, it's filed properly, yada, yada, yada. What they don't do in a lot of circumstances is drive people to the meetings. Sometimes they do, great, take advantage of it. But in circumstances where they don't, look to an organization that helps draw the audience to you. And these then are places you can work on an ongoing basis throughout the year. Hey, it's July. Electric company still wants to be paid. We still need to make money now. We talk a lot right now. It seems like about 2016, we got nearly half the year, a little less, left to go for 2015. How can we get in front of people now in order to do what we need to do? This is a great way of doing it. We have a complete method for you to use to approach faith-based organizations and menu of informational topics of interest that you can present that are of interest to the congregation, its pastoral leadership and yourself. Very symbiotic in this approach. We have a webinar scheduled for this month as well. We can fine-tune and personalize that approach for you and watch for that information as well. And then, of course, a great source of influence for folks that are looking for coverage includes the people that provide that coverage. In many cases, we think automatically of the family doctors. Yep. And some of the Medicare Advantage or ACA compliant programs may have programs in place already that can help you with that. In certain circumstances, you don't. And in some cases, if they got captive reps, they're probably working it that way. You have, beyond the primary care doctors, certain specialists that are a great resource. And moving outside the medical area, look also to the people that you've talked to throughout the year in regards to retail. Pharmacists are a great source of referrals, and dentists. There are standalone dental programs that help them with their account receivables, and it's a accounts receivable, and it's a great way to garner people to talk to on an ongoing basis as well, selling perhaps a different product than what your end approach will be, but a great way of diversifying your income, getting people from other areas to work with you as well. We have a webinar specifically for this as well, and that's upcoming this month. There are also certain carriers at certain times of the year that may have prospects they have generated and they make available to agents not contracted with their organization. In certain circumstances, you'll see that these go to agents that work with them. What do I mean by that? Well, you're bringing something to the table. You've produced for the company, and they know that you do your business in a proper and compliant fashion. And if they have leads that they can disperse, you tend to go to the top of their list. In some cases, this may be what I call a Lazarus lead, where they've responded in the past. They weren't interested at the time. Someone else couldn't get a hold of them, whatever it may be, and it's a slightly warm cold call. Or it may be someone as interested as, boy, when can you come out and explain this and enroll me? So different things that may be available through different carriers. As you contract with different carriers, particularly in the Medicare world, let's make certain that a relationship is established with you and the agent manager, agent representative of that carrier in a particular market, so we can take advantage of this opportunity as it presents itself. We do also offer different mail programs on a generic basis through a relationship we have with a number of different mail houses. We have a catalog of letters that are put together for us through America's Recommended Mailers. They offer mailers for a number of different topics, and these are available for you to purchase or work the Brokerage Bucks program to fund as well. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But there are different programs that are available through this. This is actually a review program offered for your clients. So working your book of business to make certain they stay your book of business is something we can help you pursue. A policy review for Medicare supplements on an ongoing basis, offering the Medicare supplement quote engine assistance in reviewing multiple programs to make certain that the person gets the best bang for their Medicare supplement buck. And then different mailers for programs in general. You'll notice once we go into a program that's associated with a Medicare Advantage or prescription drug plan, you got a bigger disclaimer, and sometimes that drives your return down a little bit as well. But you got to stay compliant in what you do. The programs that we have been run by different compliance departments, still on a generic basis to drive up the return, but they have to be vetted properly to make certain that we stay within guidelines. Here's one offering assistance as well, with an emphasis on some of the ancillary programs that are available, and it's available in English and Spanish. A program that speaks to how healthcare reform affects Medicare options. We haven't mailed this particular program as much as some of the others, but when there are periods of time when the ACA is discussed in great detail, it's time to hit when the iron is hot with this one. Another program here that allows you to do an enrollment solicited through a special election period for a Medicare Advantage plan. This is a T65 letter that we have tweaked a bit since then to make certain that it stays compliant. And then, of course, there are mail programs offered through different carriers as well. Standard Life and Accident, Monumental Life, now Transamerica Life, Mutual of Omaha, Washington National, and Transamerica offer programs for lead support for agents who write their portfolio. The Standard Life and Accident piece is based on $5,000 of combined issued annualized premium, basically 5 combo sales. No limit on how many times you can qualify for this assistance. It gets you a 1,000-piece mailer or a 4,000 name consumer prospecting list. Legacy Safeguard does much of what we did a little bit earlier in the presentation, and looks at what's it going to cost, what's needed for me to mail in order to reach my financial goals. It's a great way for you to help model some of that plan that we talked about earlier. This bases some things on some realistic pieces. A 1% rate of return is about average for the industry. Most of our letters that we use on a continued basis get about twice that. But you got to keep in mind a 1% return doesn't mean every one of them is gold. And on some of them, you can't get a hold of them. It's a little difficult with some of them to make it work. Pardon me, we're getting a little bit of background. I'll do some muting here. Okay. Hopefully that'll help. It also helps us forecast what our income is going to be through the use of mail programs. This is based obviously on a different commission schedule. The average commission for a final expense product is much higher than the $200 per sale that we talked about with the Medicare Advantage plans. So when you look to incorporate different products within your master plan, so to speak, you're going to have to apply some variables as to how the commission varies and what your close rate is going to be, what your return rate is going to be on a lead card as well. They have a program that's available to you specifically for the Legacy Safeguard program, which is a pre-planning service available to your prospects without cost to that prospect or yourself in conjunction with contracts with certain final expense carriers. Mutual of Omaha offers a marketing credits program where you earn credits each month that you have 5 MedSup policies issued, and you can use those monies for different pieces of marketing support, and details are available at the Mutual of Omaha website under the Incentives tab. Washington National has programs in place to help pursue critical illness programs. It's a great way for you to personalize a program and approach it for a number of products. The cancer programs or cardiovascular programs, and it's a lower minimum number of leads that are required to be, or names that are required to be mailed. So it helps you control your expenses if you're doing it consistently on a week-to-week basis. A little less expensive to come out of pocket for, but in the long run, you have to look at what am I going to spend for what I'm going to get, and will mailing 200 a week generate enough people for me to make my financial goals. Transamerica recently offered or announced a marketing program for their programs as well. If you're located in the state of Texas, their MedSup has killer rates, absolutely killer rates, and they help with a mail program as well. With the submission of 7 applications, it gets you a 1,000-piece mailer through Kramer. So some different things that are available for them as well. With the Medicare supplement programs, this is a program funded by the brokerage. If you have contracts with these 8 carriers with our organization, we will set up a subscription mailer for a MedSup mailer for you, where the leads come back to you through a web-based portal for you to access those leads. So if you're a MedSup producer and you have an opportunity to contract with us for these carriers, it's a great way to make certain you get a 1,000-piece mailer on an ongoing basis. There are also leads that you can purchase off the internet, and these are kind of what you might expect in certain circumstances. If you buy an aged lead, be prepared for a lot of no's or I've already been helped. And also you got to consider what kind of lead you are pursuing. In the past, I've purchased long-term care leads from the internet. They're generated off of different landing sites, off of Google ads or whatever else it may happen to be. Sometimes your response rate is pretty darn good, and your kill ratio thereafter not so stellar, because some folks are looking to insure the house and it's already on fire. So if you're looking to pursue long-term care programs and you are working an internet lead, be prepared to have other things in your portfolio that might require less stringent underwriting, a life insurance policy with a living benefit, and it can still work out for you very well. This is the Brokerage Buck program that I alluded to earlier. If you write 8 applications with our organization in any of these different categories, we'll fund a 1,000-piece mailer for you with whatever letter you choose to pursue. There are recommendations we will make, and there's also some things you got to do in order to make this work. One, you got to have a broad enough area with the demographics you're looking to pursue to get the 1,000 pieces that are minimum for it. A lot of folks will try to do this for a turning 65 letter in one county, and they'll find, man, that doesn't work. Not 1,000 people turning 65 in that county. Remember, 10,000 people turning 65 a day, that's in the country. They don't all happen to live where we do. And so it can be a thing where we need to tweak some of the parameters to make it work for you if you're going that market. You can do other things for special election periods, life insurance, final expense, and make certain that it works for you. Keep in mind, purpose of a mail program is to get you in front of someone. A lot of folks will get a response back and think, oh my goodness, here's a fast sale. I just got to schedule it and go get them. Some cases, yeah. In some cases, you got to sell to get in the house. And if you try to sell it over the phone before you go, it doesn't give you the opportunity to pivot into other needs that that individual may have. Because keep in mind, sometimes you're going to use a letter to get a response, to get the opportunity to stand in front of someone and listen to what their needs are and pivot, be extemporaneous, and move off of it to offer a program that might not be exactly what the letter was slated to offer. It's not being deceptive. It's going in, addressing that need, then doing a little bit of fact-finding to see if there are other needs that might be in the house. You want to do that if you sell off the letter anyway, just to make certain you take care of that individual and drive your persistency up by having more than one product in the house. There's also a program through ARM that we do that is a subscription type of program, that if you call in to ARM, purchase 4 months consecutive of a letter, we'll match the first month. So instead of getting 4,000 pieces of mail, you get 5,000 pieces of mail. And with the recent postal increase, the cost on a 1,000-piece mailer has gone to $460 if you do it each and every month. The subscription rate, doing it on an ongoing basis, is a little less expensive. So the big thing is, whatever you choose to do as a lead program, that's something you need to begin with. Here in Texas, it seemed like there for a while we should just be building an ark and not worrying about selling insurance, because there were animals pairing up and looking in to head to your backyard to say, hey, you got to ride on a boat? Right now, we're getting a little bit of heat and reality setting in, saying, man, I got to pay my electric bill. I got to do this. I got to do that. When all is said and done, more is said than done. And we need to make certain that we have a plan in place and we're ready to go. It's halfway through July. If we're looking for a successful open enrollment period, be it with Medicare or ACA compliant programs, we need to have a plan in place now to get us in front of enough people to meet our goals. So one of the things, let's take a peek back on the website again. There are some places you can go and learn more about different products that are available to you, different lead generation programs that are available to you, and a way to contract to make certain you have what is necessary in your portfolio to make it work.
Voicemail system.
Bear with me a moment. Hit the wrong button there. In the background, you hear the theme to Jeopardy as we attempt to open a link on the website. We're going to lead generation tools. This goes back and it kind of gives a short synopsis of what we talked about with excuse me, what is a lead? Crazy 8 programs through Brokerage bucks for the 8 and 8 categories to get a 1,000-piece mailer, other direct mail pieces, grassroots marketing, and final expense programs. A little bit of a review available to you right here and now with part of it too. Through these areas too is also where you can access the leads, or you can go by the list, or one of the things I'd ask of you, if that's something you like to do, if you have an endeared relationship with Ma Bell and you like to cold call, or you like to smile and dial, whatever you want to call it, when you receive the follow-up to today's presentation, respond back and let us know what you're interested in, and one of us will reach out to make certain we follow up and make it work for you. So that said, I want to thank you for coming on the line with us today and taking some time to learn about some of the different programs that are available. I would urge you to be open to additional information regarding faith-based organizations, provider marketing, and retail marketing. These are webinars that are available yet this week that go into those programs in greater detail. If there's something on today's presentation that you have a question about or you want to pursue more fully, reach out on a respond to the email follow-up you're going to receive from today's webinar, or give us a call, 1-800-442-4915, and let's see what we can do to help make certain that you are in front of people that you need to be in front of to make your goals a reality. You can do that with the product portfolio we offer and the programs that are in place. And I want to thank you for coming on the line and spending some time with us today. We look forward to visiting with you here very soon, and we wish you good selling.